Hi everyone, my name is Avio Daniel, and this is my final project for ICT 200. So before I get into my project, I just wanted to share why I chose this topic. My mom was diagnosed with fibromyalgia many years ago, and growing up, I watched how confusing and overwhelming it was for her at first. There's not a lot of clear, supportive information available back then, and I've always felt that if she had access to simple visuals or resources that explain what she was experiencing, it would have made the whole process of understanding and managing her systems a lot easier. So that is what made me want to focus on this condition for my project. I wanted to look at how different infographics communicate health information and then create one that could help a specific audience understand fibromyalgia in a clear and supportive way. In my video, I'm going to compare two infographics about fibromyalgia and then look at how each one uses visual design and structure, and then explain who each one is meant for, and then show the infographic I created for a different audience. I'll also explain the choices I made and how I used critical and creative thinking to build my final design. So the first infographic I looked at is the green everyday health infographic. It uses soft colors and friendly illustrations to explain common symptoms like headaches, dizziness, insomnia, digestive problems, brain fog, fatigue, things like that. And the style still feels very gentle and simple. But this one is clearly designed for like the general public. It avoids any medical language and instead uses like basic terms and clean icons. It uses clear visual hierarchy because the title is centered at the top and then the images are arranged in a circle around the body figure, and that makes the viewer follow the information in a more like natural order. It also uses chunking because each symptom is separated into its own little section, and that helps lower cognitive like load so people do not feel so overwhelmed when looking at this infographic. This matches what we learned about in basic visual literacy and how small layouts help beginners process information more easily. For my oral citation, this comes from Everyday Health. That's who made this infographic. So overall, this infographic gives a calm introduction to what fibromyalgia feels like, and it works well for someone who is learning about it for the first time or someone who is looking to see if maybe their symptoms align with fibromyalgia. So for infographic two, it looks very different. It uses bright blue and yellow colors and focuses almost completely on the statistics of fibromyalgia. It includes the percentage of the population that has it and how many people are affected, and the age ranges, the gender differences, economic costs, and even the average days of work missed each year. This design is more structured and feels way more serious than the first one. The large numbers at the top guide your eyes, and that is a strong example of visual hierarchy as well. The boxes of information stacked on the page in a very organized way, and that creates a very linear flow. But this infographic is aimed at adults who want research-based information. It could be for caregivers or for people who work in healthcare, and it relies more on logical appeal than emotion. So instead of how it feels, it focuses on what it costs and how common it is. And this infographic is from Sunshine Behavioral Health. Behavioral Health. And it communicates all the facts very clearly, but it does not feel personable or relatable to the younger people. After viewing the first two designs, I realized that neither one really speaks to teens or young adults. So the first one explains symptoms, but does not talk about school or everyday life. But the second one explains statistics, but does not feel relatable for the younger people. So I designed my infographic for teens and young adults because this group often experiences fatigue, pain, brain fog, but they don't always know how to describe it or how to talk about it. So my infographic includes six sections, which are one, what from fibromyalgia is, and on that section, I use very simple language and kept the definition of it short. I wanted teens to understand the idea without feeling confused about it. The second section was symptoms that matter to teens, so like the common symptoms in teens. And I included the symptoms like brain fog, fatigue, headaches, dizziness, sensitivity to lights or noise, stomach problems, trouble sleeping. These symptoms connect directly to what students deal with in school. My source for this section is my own everyday health infographic, so one of the other two. And then my third section is how it can affect school and daily life. So this information neither of the original infographics included. I added things such as like missing school during the flare-ups and trouble concentrating in class, pain after PE or sports, and then just feeling exhausted from normal tasks. And teens relate to this in their daily routine. So this section helps them understand how the condition fits into their world. So for the fourth section, I chose what helps or simple tips for teens. So this one I used shorter bullet points, phrases, shorter bullet point phrases. And these include keeping a regular sleep schedule, gentle movement, staying hydrated, using planners, and taking short breaks. I kept the list very simple so it would not overwhelm the viewer. And then for the next section, I did how to talk about it. So I added simple phrases like, my body feels tired even after rest. Pain makes it hard to keep up sometimes, and I'm trying, but I need a break right now. Um, Teens often don't know how to communicate health issues to their provider, so this section helps them express themselves without um, being scared of not being believed or taken seriously about it. And so for my ending message at the bottom, I put that you are not alone. Many teens live with chronic pain and talk to a doctor if symptoms last longer than 3 months. And this gives reassurance and support, which is so important for the younger audience. And then why I designed my infographic this way. I used both critical thinking and creative thinking. So on the critical thinking side, I identified what the two original infographics did well and what they did not cover. I noticed that they did not address school or the emotional side of symptoms for the younger people, and I also thought about what information teens would actually need to, and made sure to include details that matter for their age group. So, and then on the creative thinking side, I chose the bright colors, the rounded boxes, the friendly icons, and a short of text. I use ideas we talked about in class, like chunking, visual hierarchy, and keeping the cognitive load low. I wanted my infographic to feel calm, supportive, and easy to understand, but I also use storytelling by showing everyday situations like school challenges and communication tips. So everything in this final design was created with a teen viewer in mind. So to finish up, I compared two infographics about fibromyalgia that use very different styles and approaches. I analyzed their design, structure, and audiences, and then I created my own infographic that focuses on teens and young adults and gives them information they can understand and actually use. I applied the visual literacy and design concepts from our course to make it effective for this new audience. Thank you for watching.